Ooh, that looks tasty.
Hey, the Hungry Gamer is back with another Kickstarter preview, and today we're talking about the Bazaars of Ubar from Gray Fox Games and designed by Tim Armstrong. Before I get started, please make sure you turn on your Klingon subtitles because if I make any mistakes in the rules overview, that's where you'll find the corrections. And additionally, I need to point out that this is a handmade prototype and obviously is not the quality of the final version of the game, and just wanted to point that out. Also, I'll say this is not the actual setup. This is just setting up enough stuff so I can kind of show you what's going on and still fit it all on one screen. What this game is this is a tableau building, engine building, resource management, contract fulfillment style game. And what's going to be happening is throughout the game, you're going to be getting different goods and putting them into your airship. And as you get to each of these cities, you'll be able to sell said goods for a variable price. And each of the different cities will have their own card with the own prices set up, and there's a whole bunch of them in the game. So every time you play, it'll be a different combination. And to do that with the goods, you'll be drafting these tiles over here, and these tiles will allow you to turn various types of goods into other types of goods. So as you're moving through, you'll be able to get what it is that you want to try to sell at the market. Now, if you are not interested in how this game is played and just want to jump into my final thoughts, then you want to go to the timestamp on the screen right now. For those of us still here, let's talk about what's going to happen. Each turn, you're going to get to draft one of these tiles up here. And as you can see around the edges, there are little half hourglasses on each one. And so when you draft a tile, you're going to look around the tile and see how many hourglasses there are. So in this case, there's 3. There's one here, and then one on the tile next to it. So for me, that would mean I would move 1, 2, 3 spaces on this little time track. And then I would get to take this tile and put it into my tableau. Now, before I do that, I just want to point out that you have your ship here that has a set number of space, and each of the different goods has a different shape to it. And again, this is a handmade prototype, but as you can see, the lamps are a 3 square L, the rugs are 5 spaces straight, the scarab is 1, you have potions that are simply 2, and you have treasure chests, which are a 4 square. And at any time, you can toss stuff over the side as you're trying to fit everything in that you want. Now I'm going to move this out of the way, and let's talk about the core of the game, which is this engine that you're building. So this here is your ship. And what's going to happen is, as you draft your tiles, you're going to look at this symbol in the middle. And the symbol in the middle is going to tell you what tiles in your tableau you're going to get to activate. So let's just put a couple of these out here and just say I already had, I don't know, we'll say I had this right there, and I drafted this one. So what this means is when I place this one down, say right here, I get to activate this tile, which tells me that I can turn a single scarab into 2 lamps and a rug. Then I get to follow this arrow, and since you see there's one arrow and then another one on top of it, it means I get to activate, if I want, the 2 tiles directly above it, which would mean I could activate this one here, which is my starter tile. I could spin 1 time and get either a rug or a treasure chest, and the one above it right here, which allows me to turn 2 rugs into 2 lamps. And so as you can see, this means I could start with 1 scarab and turn that into 2 lamps and a rug, then come to here, spend a time, get another rug, and then take those 2 rugs and turn them into 2 lamps, which means I would have turned 1 scarab into 4 lamps. And depending on where I'm going, that could be worth a ton of money. So here, if I went to the city, the scarab would be worth 3. But if I suddenly turn that into 4 lamps, I just wound up making 12 instead of 3. And hopefully you can see how that's going to work. And now there's a whole bunch of different types of tiles that you have. They all do different things. But really the most important thing is as you're going through is what other tiles are going to be activated. So for example, if I put this one out, this allows me to activate any other one tile that I want in my tableau. So I can activate this one and turn a rug or a potion into a chest or lamp, and then anything else I want. So maybe I want to now activate the one right above it and take that 1 lamp and turn that into 3 chests. So now I turned 1 potion to this and this and to this and 3 chests, and you get the idea. Or maybe you have this set up and then you draft this one. And this one means you get to do the ones in the middle, and then you get to do all the ones around it. If I had another one here somehow, I'd get to activate that as well. And there are all sorts of different patterns. There's diagonal patterns. There's ones that just let you go only to the left or only to the right, or multiple to the left or multiple to the right, or 3 to one side, and you get the idea. But really, that's it. You're going to go through the game and you'll be moving through the track based on what tiles you've drafted. You're going to be selling things, and as you're going through selling, you'll be getting coins for them. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most coins is going to be the winner. So, what do I like about this game? First and foremost, as I often say with this style of game, I like that it is very easy to teach, very easy to explain, and there's not a lot going on, so it makes it very quick to get to the table and to, in most cases, get a game played. Along with that, I do like the engine building of it. I like the way that as you're taking tiles off the board, you're placing different ways to activate different parts of your engine. And sometimes you're making that really hard choice of, do I want to take all this time to activate this one part of my engine that I really want? Or do I want to take less time and get more tiles to be able to take more actions before I get to the next city to do my sales? And that tension is particularly interesting to me. I also like the fun bit of gamesmanship that you have when you start with, say, I don't know, a scarab. I have one scarab. I'm going to activate maybe 3 parts of my engine because I got a specific tile that lets me activate 3. And I take that one scarab and I turn it into something and turn that into something and then one part of that into something else. And at the end, I come out with a whole bunch of stuff. And I got my scarab back. I find that really, really satisfying. And is what I think is the most fun part of the game. Along with as you're trying to pick where you're going to put your different tiles as you draft them. So what are my quibbles with the game? The first one is, there is so much room for AP in this game. And I found when I finally got the physical copy and was playing through, I'd played several games on TTS prior. When I finally got the physical copy and was playing through, there is a lot that you can kind of do simultaneously. When you know that you're not next, you're not going to go for a while, you can make your choice and then kind of go through all of your placement and your activation of your tableau. So that does keep the game going and moving. However, it is definitely possible to get locked into that, okay, which one of these things do I want? Which one do I need? Which one's the best? Because if I get this, that's going to turn to this, and I'll turn to this, and then I'll turn to this. And then here at this next city, this is going to be the most valuable sales. But if I want to keep one of these things and move on to, there's definitely the possibility for AP. Now, with that said, it's not any more than a lot of games, right? I mean, a lot of Euro-style games can be AP-inducing, but something to keep an eye on. And then the other thing is, while I liked that turning one thing into something else and turning that into 2 other things and those 2 things into 3 things and then one of those things into 3 more things and those 3 things back to what I started with, well, I like that. It is kind of the epitome of cube pushing, right? I mean, they're not cubes, but it's kind of cube pushing. I'm going to turn this cube into this, and this cube's going to turn into this, and this is going to turn into this one. And now look, I have a different color cube. It does have a little bit of that feel. And so if that's not something you enjoy, if you think it's just silly that I'm going to start with one thing, turn it into a bunch of junk, and then come back with the thing I started with also, might not be for you, because that is literally all you're doing in this game. That's it. You're turning stuff into other stuff on the fly. And the only thing that I'll toss out there is, you can shoot yourself in the foot a little bit. This is not a quibble with the game, just kind of a warning as you're looking at the game and playing. And it's something that my wife ran into the first time that we played, where she sold off all of her stuff at the first city and then had a really hard time getting her engine going again because she had nothing to put in. Because there's not a ton of ways in some games, depending on what tiles come out, there's not a ton of ways to create new goods. And you can find yourself in situations where your goods starved for a little while. Now, you play through once and you figure that out and it doesn't happen again, but it's just kind of a warning to the players out there who are looking at it. You know, be careful and thoughtful with how you manage that first sale. But there you have it, folks. That's it. That is Bazaars of Ubar. It's a clever game. I enjoyed it.
I play it, and I particularly enjoy it when the game is moving on at a good clip. When you're playing the game, there's not a lot of AP going on. It really moves around, and it's a satisfying under an hour game, which for me, great. I love that. I can see with people who have played the game several times, I could see you knocking this game out in half an hour because it's really easy to set up once you organize it. Just throw it out there, no problem. So there you have it, folks. That is Bazaars of Ubar. It is currently on Kickstarter right now. I didn't even get the prototype until after the campaign launched. So, as always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.